Okay, fourth grade. So now that you have your final details of crisp windows and nice clean black edges, the majority of you have already done this black reflection. If you've not done this black reflection, be sure to ask someone who's already done it, okay? They can give you a quick demonstration, but when you are doing this reflection, be sure to use a flat brush. Remember, the top should be flat, and make sure that your brush is dry, because this is a dry brush technique, meaning that you do not need any water when you are making the reflections of the buildings, okay? So if you finished all of those things last class, then you have a nice dry place to work from. So we're going to add the details of the grass, and then if you have some time, some of your sunset colors reflecting into the water. So for the grass details, you are going to need a very small, detailed, round brush, okay? You're also going to need a little squirt of green tempera paint and a little squirt of white tempera paint, and your teacher should have that all ready for you. You can share paint with the person next to you, and you will need some water so you can rinse your brush, and so you can also change paints, because we're going to use a different paint for the sunset colors in the water. Okay, so let's just start out by dipping our brush in some green, okay? And we are going to work all along this edge where the water meets the buildings. So I'm just going to start on one end, and I'm going to make some sprigs of grass starting from the bottom and then just kind of scooting up. Okay, so I'm working from the bottom, and then I'm scooting that brush up, and I'm going back to dip in my paint probably every, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whenever my brush seems to be low on paint, then I go back and do a little more dipping. Do not press down super hard when you're creating these grass details. Try to be really light-handed. Okay, if you need to do a little bit of practice, you can grab a scrap piece of paper and try to do a little bit of practicing first. Otherwise, just go for it. So you're creating individual kind of sprigs of grass. Maybe from a distance it'll kind of look like bushes. And I'm trying to make my sprigs of grass kind of going in different directions. Going left, going right, going up. Doing a little bit of overlapping. Okay, then I'm going to wash my brush, kind of dry it off a little bit on my paper towel, and I'm going to go back in with some white, and I'm going to go all the way across and just add some of that white value in there, and I'm going to let it mix with my green, okay? So I'm just go all the way across, kind of let it mix a little bit so it'll be a bit of a highlight to your grass or your bushes or whatever it is you think it looks like. All the way across, and then I think I'm going to do one more pass with green. Okay, so wash your brush, kind of get it a little bit dry over here. Do one more pass of green. There we go. Now we're looking like we're cooking, because now we're adding some overlapping, right? And when you overlap with light and dark, as you know, light and dark values make your artwork look more interesting, makes it look more realistic, makes it look like there's more depth in your work. So once you're finished adding that last kind of layer of green all the way across, then you're going to switch gears and you're going to switch paint sets. You're going to use one of those square paint sets that we started out with, okay? And for this, you're going to make some really fine lines of color in your water to kind of show the reflection of the colors that you used in your sunset. So if you use that purple color, then grab that nice thin brush Get some of that purple color, just very light-handed again, okay? Make a couple of squiggles here and there. Some a little longer, some a little shorter, okay? If you used orange, go back in there with a little bit of orange. Okay, try to make them nice and thin, nice and light. Be careful here because if you make them too thick, they might end up looking like fish, which is okay if you want them to look like fish, but what we want is for our viewer to see some reflection of the sunlight colors in, and try to be really light and gentle, okay? And then that's it. You are done. Once you finish those last details, you are all finished. You can put your work on the drying rack. It's always nice when you are done to sign your work in the bottom right corner. I always like to use some type of black pen or black Sharpie just to make sure that people can see your signature when it's hanging up. All right, have fun.